Hello, my name is Mr. Psyche, and welcome to my show. All right, welcome to this week, the first three, where me, Mr. Psyche, talks about the first three episodes of an anime that I thought was interesting this season. And this week I'm talking about Ninja Kamui, and I'm hoping it's Ninja Kamui. But yeah, I'm talking about Ninja Kamui, and I'm actually really excited about this one. This one was crazy. So episode 1, the scene sets up with a random Mr. Dude. In my notes, I dubbed him Mr. Anderson ass looking dude pops off the train. It's just a nice, looks like maybe sundownish section of the time zone in Tokyo. As he pops off the train, he's on the phone, he's just doing his daily business. And as soon as he gets around the corner, a bunch of, I would say, cyber ninjas pop out of nowhere. And immediately, within like the first, I want to say 2 minutes of the episode, a crazy ass ninja battle pops out. Immediately, crazy choreography. The Mr. Anderson dude is dodging kunai. We've got blades flying everywhere. I think I would put the estimation of the ninjas he's fighting in the maybe 20s or 30s. There's a bunch of these dudes, but he's holding his own. But right when you think like, oh, Mr. Anderson is gonna make it, Mr. Anderson is gonna hang in there. What appears to be the leader of this little band of ninjas, this cyborg Oni guy, pops out and just immediately decapitates the dude. Then you see the Mr. Oni here pulls out a little electronic scan thing, where it seems like he has went ahead and finished the assassination he was supposed to. So he's kind of got like his little pink slip where he finished his assassination duty. Great setup, everything's popping, energy is high, but then you skip to the scene and we are in the country road looking across a really very beautifully animated cornfield. There's a guy, unidentified as of now. Let me see. What I don't think I didn't put a note down for what I thought dude's name was at this time, but yeah, we got Family Man. He's working on his bike. His son pops out and he's wearing a little Oni mask. And there's some back and forth of why dad doesn't really like him wearing the Oni mask. He would prefer him to wear a mask of a hero or something. And, the wife shows up and we've got some nice family conversations. We're getting that the dangerous anime buildup. If the ones who know. The ones who know that know. Leading into what we got, a calendar where we kind of look at the fact that the little boy's birthday is coming up, and the family montage where you see them kind of just having their moments together, mom, son, and the father, which I think at some point you see mentioned as a Mr. Logan here. So during the montage, you kind of see that they're watching broadcasts on the news about these ninja assassinations, not spoken of as ninja assassinations, mind you, because on the news they're just saying, people are getting killed and they don't really know why. We know why because we saw that, but nobody knows why, and they're watching the broadcast. But the dude and his wife keep kind of talking about like this, do we know what this is? We know what this is, don't we? You know what I mean? So they're alluding to something, right? Once we get to the birthday time, we have this wonderful scene. If you are an anime fan at all, this wonderfully beautiful animated ominous. Mr. Logan here is enjoying a nice hug with his wife and kid after they enjoyed his birthday celebration, where he got a mask from his new superhero and got to enjoy his little B-Day cake and everything. And yeah, right after this scene, we go to the scene where they're all essentially asleep in the room, and out of nowhere, Mr. Logan pops out of his bed and he says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this," and everything pops the absolute fuck off. First of all, the ninjas come in through the window, and Mr. Logan is absolutely handling these fools. And this scene right here, let me tell you, this scene right here where they start busting into his window and he essentially has that like look of the father, you know, like, you ain't coming here to try to fuck with my family, did you? Cause and yeah, so he starts going off on these fools left, right. They can't even hold a candle to him. So you're just like, oh, okay, this dude's got it. We probably shouldn't be too worried about everything. And then you get the cut right away where you hear his son upstairs say, father. And right when he says father, this dude, he goes completely sicko mode and flies up, knocks a couple of ninjas out on his way up the stairs. Now, listening on audio, it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and describe this. If you're here for the live show and you're seeing the video, I will not be showing anything from the next scene. I'm not doing it. But he goes up, and as he reaches the top of the stairs, he immediately gets like stopped by a ninja, and the only dude from scene 1 is standing over his dead wife and his son, or sorry, his dead son. Wife's not dead yet. Sorry, actually. I forgot how crazy this scene was. The son is dead. The wife is holding him. The Oni look him in the eyes. The dude is so blinded by rage that he's not paying attention. He gets 2 poison needles straight to his throat, tanks that shit. He's got bloodshot eyes, a ninja on his back. He's still crawling towards his family, and the Oni just throws his blade into his wife's throat. Like, it's like I said, I'm not even going to show it for the live viewers, but it's yeah. And then you see in his eyes like that ninja snap, you know, that, oh, you know what you did. But what they show instead is a scene. They show like a close-up of the wife and kid's face, and there's like this electronic paneling that disappears off their face. Because the poison needles are starting to mess with Logan, he's starting to like black out, and the ninja behind him stabs directly through his chest. The Oni walks up as Logan falls to the ground, and he says, kill confirmed. Like, dude is dead. Kill confirmed. And after all that madness, I'm freaking up, jumping out the chair. They stop panel, and next scene, Mr. Logan is waking up on a coroner's table. His body is, you know, presumed dead. He's covered up. And he wakes up in the coroner's table, and he immediately has a flashback of the last thing that happens, throws up, passes out, and then wakes up again in a regular hospital bed. Whew! When he wakes up in the regular hospital bed, the nurses are just kind of talking. He's having his small flashbacks. We had that huge, you know, crescendo, so everything is kind of calming down. At this moment, Mr. Logan gets visited by the agent. At this time, I think it's Agent Morris, I think they say his name is. And he comes in to basically say, hey, what the fuck's going on? He doesn't answer. Blah, blah, blah. As he's healing, or he's not really sure how he healed, but as he's healing, he's sitting on the roof towards the end. He's not healed yet. He's clearly not healed yet. And some random ninja takes one more attempt at him towards the end of this episode. And he takes a needle out and stabs his arm, and his arm like goes crazy. And then he fucking murks this dude. So he goes absolutely ape shit on him. And right towards the end, you get to see that Logan takes his like face mask thing off. It's like the electronic panel thing. And he's like shown to not be this guy. So whew, off the bat, this whole thing is really good. I'll get into a little bit more about like the way they set up the scenes more in the discussion section. But I am going to move on to episode 2. They go into it starts off with the intro flashback where they're talking about, there's basically like the shogunate. There's like I don't know what to call it yet, because I don't want to spoil too much. I'm trying to keep, even with how much detail I'm going into, I'm trying to keep this concise, because the idea is that you go watch this shit. But there is a team of ninjas, you know, at least supposedly or pretty obviously the ninja team behind what's going on, of how and you hear like these flashes of like, you know, ninjas must work to protect the land, and all who run will be killed, like exiles will be hunted, and blah blah blah. And then they flash to Mr. Logan, now unmasked, sitting in front of the tied up Oni dude, the leader from that previous one that got his wife. He got that fool in the last episode, and he's got him tied up, and it looks like he's ready to torture this dude. He's hung upside down, tied up, while the Mr. Logan, well, that's fine. That's good. We're heading right there. So as Mr. Logan is basically telling this dude, like, how did you find me, whatever, and the Oni guy's like, you know this isn't gonna work. Ninjas don't talk. You could do whatever you want to me. And at that time, the guy, currently known as Mr. Logan's like, yeah, dude, don't worry. I know you're not gonna talk. I know. I don't care. He's like, I know. And so for the next couple, or like, I think it's like 4 days that they try to flash. It could be more. They don't know. It's like a montage. Every single day, dude is coming in here, and the Oni leader is getting hung up, and he is fucking his shit up. He's stabbing him over, like, he is just torturing the hell out of this dude. During this torture interaction, the hung up Oni leader reveals that the guy's name is Higan. At this time, he doesn't have his mask on. He's showing his face. He's a completely different dude. But the stuff that you start to see Higan do, he's clearly very, very skilled as a ninja. He's got some crazy shit going on. So after he tortures the dude for a few days, he basically is just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, blah, blah, and he lights this son of a bitch straight on fire and lets him just burn and melt alive. And then they cut to the first time that you hear the main intro. The intro is dope. It's heavy metal. It's very, very, I think some intros kind of do a little too much to set up the story, and the song is pretty much like laying out exactly what the anime is about. It's a story about vengeance, but the song rocks. It's really good. I was like the whole it's good. Yeah. Anyways, so after you get the first time we go through the intro, we get to a scene of the investigators talking about how Mr. Logan, his wife, and his kid don't act like they're dead, so they're following up on the story, and they were investigating the other ninja story. The investigators pretty much talk about how none of these motherfuckers have actual identities. Like, if you go further back, they're all just made up identities. Mr. Logan doesn't exist. His wife isn't real, blah, blah, blah. Agent Morris is kind of talking about how this is all very fishy. And Agent Morris and his partner, I still don't know her name, but they seem like they're going to be the main, like, good guy companions, probably, which is, pretty much verified by the next scene where Higan, after hunting for a while, he goes looking for, I'm assuming the ninjas, but they don't really say. He's just searching for stuff. He goes around to some alleyways. He checks out some weird caves, some monasteries, and he's just not getting anywhere. So then he calls Agent Morris. Agent Morris had met him in the hospital and gave him his card. So he calls Agent Morris and decides to try to meet up with him. He says he's going to meet him up in a restaurant. This episode is a little bit more of like fleshing out. There's a lot of good scenes with him walking around, kind of fleshing out Higan. He's getting a lot of flashbacks of the kid and his wife and them just, living their life and stuff. Whenever he gets a flashback, I'm noting this now, and I'm going to bring it up again. I'll probably discuss it a little bit more going forward. But I do notice that as badass of a ninja as this dude is, whenever he thinks of the death part where he died, he gets actually intensely ill. Not just oh, I saw some shit sick, because he's probably seen some shit before, but he gets ill. So it's kind of weird. I mean, there's also been some minor kind of hints in the background that say maybe him being alive right now is probably not, he probably shouldn't be alive. I don't know. They're still kind of poking at that. They meet up at this restaurant. The agent is trying to stand on his business and be like, I'm the cop, I gotta arrest you. It doesn't matter, I gotta arrest you. And right when he's trying to make the move to arrest him, a bike delivery guy comes in and ends up being just this outrageous ninja with these size, and starts a battle between himself and Higan. And this time we get to see Higan use a actual crazy ass ability where he throws his ninjutsu signs and breathes out some, I want to say, black smoke or some shadow shit, and then he gives himself black shadow arms and a crazy battle pops off. Now I am a big proponent of fight choreography, so I just always want to point out when I see some shit where they took the time to make sure that the fight choreography was really clean. This is one of those shows. You can They zoom in and out of every arm, every limb when he's swinging. His Whenever he uses his little ninjutsu powers, this like the scene gets quieter, and it's very ominous that he's like, these powers are very peculiar, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't seen a single other ninja in this. They've shown at least like at this point like 50 ninjas or plus that have come after him, and they haven't shown any of them use some crazy shit like this. So he does this crazy fight, and then basically, you know, Higan fucks this motherfucker up. The agent is still there. Higan dips out, and you know, the agent's just kind of left. What the fuck's going on? While Higan dips out. At the end of this one, it's basically like Higan looking over the city line, and he still doesn't really know what direction he's going to go or if he's going to continue to work with the agent, basically. So episode 3, at the very intro, we get what looks like, I would assume, some maybe like a high-ranking businessman. It seems like they're starting to flesh a little bit more out on like the underseated belly of this like ninja clan. So there's basically like probably like a high-ranking dude in some sort, or if it's getting into his car, and then I think it's a ninja, but he's like a really creepy ass dude. Basically murks all these guys in the back of their limousine by like these arms reach out of the back of the seats and like pull them in. So this is the first time we're seeing someone else other than Higan use what appears to be a supernatural like ninja ability. I think they call them like forbidden arts or something. In my notes I put them as ninjutsu because of course, but like I think they call them like hidden arts or something like that. And yeah, this is the first time we see another character kind of use it. During this episode, after the scene with the assassination, you actually go to a scene with the apparent leader of this ninja clan talking to the dude who did the assassination, and he's definitely a little bit more quirky than some of the other characters we've seen so far. When he saw that he was going to be on the Higan hunt, he saw a picture of the ninja and he like licks his phone. Like, he's like I can't wait to catch this mother. It's kind of, yeah. So basically the leader of the ninja clan going back and forth with this dude. And then you also get a scene where this is kind of like a flesh out episode, it seems like, but you also get a scene where the agent and his partner are talking about this corporation called Azua. So in the last episode, I guess the lieutenant, I think he's just, I don't know, I just gotta call him Morris. When they got into this scuffle with the bike messenger ninja guy, he noticed that the ninja's weapons were crazy good. So he wanted to look into like, why the fuck are these weapons so damn good? They cut through like my bulletproof shit. When he was investigating, you start to see that there's like a tie to a bigger thing. And throughout the show, you'll have noticed that if you're paying attention, you'll have noticed that this company's name Azua keeps popping up a lot. So if you're paying attention at home, you know, there's a big corporation, there's assassinations, there's this ninja, you know, it kind of all like it kind of wearing itself right in its sleeve here. And Morris is kind of catching on that like maybe the ninja organization is tied to Azua. This is what I was kind of already tying on, because they do put a lot of that like obvious foreshadow shit in there, like as they move around the scenes. So you kind of get that impression early on. And going into the discussion section, I will kind of talk about a little bit about that. But so you get the situation where our ninja boy Higan is essentially, you know, out of options. He doesn't have any leads, and he wants to connect back up with Morris, which they decide to do out in the middle of nowhere. They decide to, you know, work together for this time to try to figure out what the fuck's going on with the ninja. Higan gives Morris very, very little. He doesn't tell him a lot. He's just like, yep, I'm a ninja, they're ninjas, we got this shit. So it's very much, you know, tongue-in-cheek for Higan, because he's clearly got a lot going on. But every time they show any scenes that go away from the scene, they're usually showing either the ninja leader talking to, you know, another one of the ninja clans about Higan being, you know, the exile. And in one of those conversations towards the beginning of the episode, when the apparent leader of the ninja clans is talking with this creepy guy who's going to be going after Higan, the creepy guy mentions that there's another ninja out there who might want Higan even more, called the Reaper. And they show this guy in a scene hunting down another exile. So this is a cool scene because, one, you now know that there are other exiles instead of Higan. And the exile in the scene, opposite this Reaper guy who is going after Hegan, that exile is like, he has like a kinship. He's like Hegan was able to stay alive versus your attacks. If we all stand our ground, you know, the exile should know that we might be able to live a real life, so on and so forth. And he uses, and this is another cool one where we get to see ninjas basically using otherworldly ninja and the exile on the other side of this battle uses this really cool wind attack against this Reaper guy that looks powerful, but then like literally 2 seconds after that, this guy just murks him, basically like one-shots him with a sword throw. So this guy seems formidable as they don't really pay too much attention to him because I think they're trying to make it seem like this is probably going to be the formidable as guy. And yeah, his entries was pretty cool, and the way he kills that other exile is really cool. So the high-paced action scene that you get in this episode is essentially this. You get one fight towards the end where they get attacked. So Hegan meets up with Morris and his partner, and they're talking about this is also another kind of cool scene because this is the first time you get that like anime bonding moment where you get a little bit of comedy and a little bit of bonding. They're talking about this, like the agent Morris and his partner basically puts together this little car, and it's like the hub car where they can go looking on their missions and blah blah blah. And the guy's like, this is a junker, Morris is a junker, and Hegan like comes out and says like, oh no, this is the blah 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 1977 version of the, and he goes all high, he knows like everything about the guy. He's like, that actually this is a good car. And it's just this good moment where you kind of get like he has like a personality. They're kind of like partner bonding or whatever. And then right at the very end of this episode, he gets attacked by a ninja in the mask, which you kind of expect to be the creepy dude. And it's actually a pretty rough fight. It's a cool choreography fight. No crazy extra skills are really shown here. But after the crazy fight, Hegan fucks the ninja up, and it's a robot. So the robot is clearly being controlled by the creepy dude as they flash towards at the end of the show. And the creepy dude, if he has that much power with just his robots, I'm assuming that fight's going to be pretty fucking epic. So at the very end of this episode, we basically get Hegan. He gets a phone call from a distorted voice saying, oh, great. I think it was, oh, now we can finally talk. Thank you for watching the video. These videos are pulled from my live video podcast. To be part of the live discussion or see everything full and unedited, join me Sundays 10 a.m. PST where we talk about gaming, anime, and VTubing each week on the Mr. Psyche Show. Like, subscribe, and remember to be kind to each other. Peace.